Protesters say they're angry about the government's handling of the pandemic. Restrictions were lifted just before elections at the end of last month that saw President Vučic's right-wing SNS coalition win a landslide victory. Much of the opposition boycotted the poll. Well, the Free Citizens movement did take part. I've been speaking to its leader, Sergej Trifunović. First, his reaction to the decision not to impose a new curfew.
Well, my reactions are they're actually quite, they have a bad reactions to the pressure. Every time we make a pressure, he's sort of like giving something up. For example, if he says, we're going to lock you down, we make a pressure, go out on the streets. He says, no, we're not going to lock you down. So his reactions are very bad to any kind of pressure. What's happening here is on the streets now is actually rebellion of the people who can't just stand it anymore. We had enough. I mean, we had enough of this. It's 8 years of tyranny. It's 8 years of stealing the money from the public firms. This is the dirtiest government we had. What we have here on the scene, on political scene, is the best pupils of Slobodan Milošević, and they're worse than him. They're worse than he ever was.
The president says that you, the protesters, those who've been taking part in the protests, are criminal hooligans, and you're fascists.
It's the same thing that Slobodan Milošević used to say 25 years ago. Is the same pattern, as the same sentences, the same lines, actually, and the brutality of police is even worse than it was. If you see some footage, like they were actually brutally beating people, even people lying on the streets, because we were fighting police during Milošević era, and I can't really remember that the police was so brutal to beat someone who's actually lying down on the streets.
Yeah, the police were also injured. There were a number of police officers who did suffer injuries as well.
If they're fighting us, we're not going to just stand there. I mean, it's not going to happen. That's not happening in Paris. That's not happening anywhere. We're going to fight, and we're going to fight back.
Essentially, what you're saying is that this isn't really just about coronavirus and the lockdown. This is about politics, isn't it?
Of course. Like I'm telling you, we have the worst dictatorship after Slobodan Milošević. I remember I was 18 when it started, and I'm 48 now. I remember clearly every detail. This is the worse and dirtier than it ever was. So it's not about coronavirus. It's about everything. I mean, it just came to that point. We just don't want to take it anymore, and we can't take it anymore.
Why then did you and other opposition parties boycott the elections, giving
I didn't boycott the elections. Right. I'm not that guy. I wasn't boycotting the elections.
Some opposition parties did, didn't they? Yeah, and that gave the government a huge majority.
I can't tell you about them, but we were among those minority opposition parties that actually went for the elections. We want to change things in the parliament, not to change things on the street. Because if you change things on the street, I mean, you probably get somebody killed. I don't want any citizen of Serbia being, wounded or killed. I don't want that ever to happen. I mean, we were wounded and killed enough. We had this. I mean, the thing is about elections. Of course, they're stolen. Of course, we knew he was going to steal us, and he did that. But at least we went out to fight, legally through the parliament. They were trying to do something that's even biggest proof where we live. And we live in the society which is under tyranny and under dictatorship.
I mean, he said no lockdown at this weekend. What's going to happen now? Does that mean the protests are over for the time being?
I mean, he crossed the line. I mean, the tear gas, the tear gas bombs that they throw on the first day, they throw 315 tear gas bombs. I catched 1 or 2 yesterday. And I'm telling you, it's really bad.
But what next? Will there be more protests tonight?
Of course, absolutely. We're going out there. We just want to protest about the brutality of police against this kind of tyranny that we are actually witnessing every single day since they came. And it's 2012. So it's been 8 years now. And I think it's enough.
Sergej Trifunović of the Free Citizens movement.